everyone, Dr. Luqman here with Excited Cats, welcoming you back to the Excited Cats YouTube channel, and today we're going to be talking about another exciting cat topic. Now today's topic is one that we get asked a lot around the holiday seasons, which are fast approaching, which is, do cats actually remember their owners when they've been away for a while? And this brings us to the topic of understanding feline memory. Do they have a memory? How good is their memory? How long is their memory? And does it have any implications for pet owners who have cats? So before we dive into this topic, this is your friendly reminder, guys, to please hit that subscribe button. Please do leave us a like. And as always, we welcome any feedback you have via a comment. Now, the topic of feline memory actually involves knowing if memory is important for an animal to survive. The fundamental issue is that many people associate memories with bad things. Now, in the context of human medicine, this is somewhat true because there might be some people who unfortunately hold on to issues long enough that they actually develop cases of anxiety or depression, or they experience, negative feelings when they recall memories. So many people think that memories are a bad thing. Now, this might be true for species that are able to have very high levels of cognition, such as humans. However, memories also do serve good functions, which is why you and I are able to recall fond memories as well. And for animals, memories are very important because they let them control their environment or let them survive in their environment much better. So to demonstrate this, let's look at what a cat would use memory for. Now, in the wild, cats are predators and they are territorial. They need to know where in their territory they found prey, what was happening when the prey was found, what time of day it was, were the prey near a body of water, how did they ambush the prey, what trees did they hide in, what shrubbery did they use for cover, where in their territory is the best place to sit and look out as a vantage point, where in their territory is the best place to hide kittens, where in their territory should they be mindful about, other predators, and where in their territory are the best spots for, everything, shade, water, food, etc. So we do know that cats actually do rely on memory because it has a very important function with regards to their day-to-day life and how they generally live as predators. And that's not to say that cats don't rely on instinct. They do rely on instinct for a lot of things, but of course they need to have memory as well. And in experiments involving felines, it was determined that their memory is more or less around 10 years. That means they're able to recall experiences, both positive and negative, from up to 10 years ago as a rough benchmark. Now, both of these experiences, that is, the positives and the negatives, are very important for cats because positive experiences let them know when they can expect good things happening for them. And for a pet owner, the easiest explanation of this is you might have realized that your cat knows when they're expecting food. So even if it's, for example, a few minutes late, for example, when you sleep in on the weekends, they will pounce on your bed and demand food because they have memory that food should be given to them at a certain time, and they're often very accurate with this. Negative memories would help a cat associate an experience as bad, and they might try to avoid the experience. This can be useful when you're training cats. For example, if your cat jumps on a counter and you do not want them to jump on a counter and they get correction, they might associate the experience as a negative and refuse to do that in the future. Or if your cat went to the veterinarian, but they did not like the experience, which is a common occurrence with many cats, they might actually start to associate a vet as a negative thing. Now, this can be problematic for pet owners because they will realize that the next time their cat is put in a carrier, their cat instantly panics and knows that something bad might happen. So you do have to be very cautious about making sure that your cat's trip to the veterinarian, as unpleasant as they may seem, are as comfortable as possible so they do not associate that experience as a bad thing. We do understand that this is not always possible, but we do encourage owners to try their best to make it as comfortable as possible. And this is another reason why this is very difficult for many owners to achieve, is because oftentimes their cats are not in a good, state of health when they are being sent to the veterinarians. So just like us, when we are sick, we may not be ourselves in a completely rational way. We might overreact to something. We might, want to be pampered more. We do not want to move around. We do not want to, go to work, etc. So cats, when they are sick, they are naturally very good at A, masking their illness, but B, when they're moved from point A to point B, that is their home, a familiar territory, to the vet, they tend to panic even more because they're unwell and they're not sure what will happen. With all that said, it has been determined that, felines do have a memory that can last up to 10 years. This is very important for cats, as we explained why, from an evolutionary perspective. And although cats do rely on instincts to get many things done, they do also have a working memory. As a pet owner, this raises concerns about senior cats, because once cats are seniors, one of the things you might realize is that your cat seems to suddenly forget things they used to do all the time. Unfortunately, this often gets overlooked, and people often assume this is just because the cat is old and they're not acting like themselves anymore. However, it is very important to remember that seniority itself is not a disease. So just because your cat is old, it does not guarantee that they will develop an ailment. Yes, the odds of some diseases and illnesses and ailments are higher in older cats. Incidences are more reported in older cats for some conditions, for example, arthritis or some cancers. But it does not mean that your cat will automatically get these when they are old. And unfortunately, one of the things that people tend to overlook is feline dementia. Now, feline dementia is in some ways very similar to human dementia, and it is sometimes seen in older cats where they seem to forget where things were. And the first signs that owners might actually observe is their cat missed a litter box, or their cat doesn't seem to be following their schedule as they used to. And unfortunately, this gets overlooked as, probably some other episode. They think, oh, maybe the cat is stressed, so my cat does not want to use the litter box. Or perhaps my cat is, older, so they're slowing down, so they're sleeping more, so they don't want to eat when they're used to eating, etc. Now, those might be true as well. There's no telling that, it might actually be a stress episode, or it might be because your cat is in fact older and likes to sleep more, but you should not rule out dementia. And therefore, this is a reason why veterinarians actually advise bringing senior animals in for their wellness checkups every 6 months as opposed to every year. This gives the vet a better chance of catching something earlier on and providing the appropriate corrections, interventions, medication, or a combination of all three. Another thing that you might notice with dementia is that unfortunately many cats do develop neurological disorders that impair their memory or their normal functions, but it is often misconstrued as something hilarious, or it is often misconstrued for something that a human would do as normal. And these cats, unfortunately, do not get the attention they receive. One of the things that is extremely common in cats with a neurological problem is they will press their heads against a wall or against any hard surface. And we call this appropriately head pressing. You might have, on occasion, seen on social media posts of such animals, and unfortunately the message given there is more of a comical twist, akin to how a human would bang their head on a wall if things were not going their way, or if they were overly stressed, or if someone was annoying them, etc. This often gets spun with a very humorous point of view, when in fact head pressing is a very, distinct sign that something might be wrong neurologically. And if something is wrong neurologically, it can actually have implications for your cat's memory as well. Another sign that is somewhat common in cats with neurological deficits is what we call circling. Now, as the name suggests, your cat will either be circling clockwise or counterclockwise, almost without purpose or reason. So this is not like they're chasing something or playing with a toy or having zoomies or running around and spinning because they're, having a good time. This is more of like a very impulsive, almost uncontrollable need to just randomly spin around in a direction without really any provocation or without any stimulus. So they weren't playing and they just like started circling, or you weren't like doing anything with them that would require their attention, but you just noticed that they're circling for no real reason. Unfortunately, once again, this is spun in social media as very comical, as almost like the cats are confused, etc., like how some people are confused or they're running in circles and so on. But this too can be a sign of a neurological deficit. It is important to note that not all neurological diseases and not all neurological deficits automatically mean that your cat will lose their memory or will have issues with their memory. But at the same time, it is important to remember that depending on the part of the nervous system that is involved, your cat's memory may be impacted. So at times, the signs are very subtle. You will notice your cat forgetting stuff and not being themselves, perhaps a slight personality change. These are all things that you might observe with feline dementia, which means that their memory is not as strong as it used to be. At other times, though, you might notice stuff that is more obvious from a clinical sign point of view. Your cat is head pressing. Your cat might actually have another illness. For example, issues with the kidneys or issues with the liver can lead to a buildup of toxins that your cat cannot expel from their body normally, and these can eventually impact their nervous system. So there might be, multiple modalities that need to be addressed over here. But it doesn't necessarily mean that your cat will lose their memory. However, signs are more obvious in some conditions than others. And when your cat is losing their memory, it is something that you should definitely bring up with your veterinarian and not take lightly. Now, this brings us back to what we said in our introduction, which is, will cats remember you when you go away for the holidays for a few weeks or even a month or perhaps 2 months, etc.? Generally speaking, a very healthy cat that has no underlying health issues should have no issues remembering you when you return. And this is because they have a memory that is good enough to last them for, the duration of your absence. And this is especially true because cats usually associate their house with their territory, and you are a part of their territory, aka their house. So once they see you and they associate, one and one together, territory is back, human is back, they easily remember you. So there should be no issues with your cats remembering you when you come back from, a trip, or if you're away for a long weekend, or if you are planning to travel for the holidays. Now, we will go into depth about traveling for the holidays in our future videos. Should you take your cat with you? And if so, how you should go about doing that? And when are circumstances when you would not want to take your cat with you, etc. And that'll be a very interesting topic, I'm sure, which we really look forward to, helping you guys figure out. But for now, rest assured that if you are leaving for a while, be it a week, a month, or perhaps even 2 months for the long holidays, your cats will have no issue remembering you when you return. They might not be happy with your absence, though, which is a completely different story. And they might definitely let you know when you come back, which we've seen all over social media as well. But this is also a sign that they knew you left in the first place. So rest assured, your cat's memory is good enough to last them for your absence. With that, this is me, Dr. Luqman, signing off. I'll catch you guys in the next one. As always, guys, please do remember to please hit that subscribe button, leave us a like, and a comment about any topic you'd want us to discuss in the future. And for now, I bid you a very lovely week ahead. Bye, guys.